Good morning, everybody. I am going to use this. Oh, there's a little face. Did you see that? I'm going to paint on the other side, so I'm not going to paint on its face. So this is going to take me a minute or two. I just want to sketch on a cute turtle. I saw a tattoo. I don't know if it's real. I never know if anything is real anymore when I see stuff online. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way. But yeah, I just kind of have to like question everything that I see nowadays. I think it's best to be a critical thinker this day and age. I didn't like where I put it the first time, so I erased it. You'll see a lot of erasing and fixing, but I'm eventually going to get it the way I want it to look. And I really just wanted to do a little turtle, a little turt-orial. Get it? Turt-orial. I haven't done a turtle in a while. I've done turtle painted shells with like little body parts that you can glue to it or what have you, but I've never painted a turtle on a stone, and I want it to be kind of 3D, but at the same time I want it to be dotted, and I want to do some like water droplets. I've done them before, you guys have seen them, but it just kind of adds something little to your painting, especially if you have space that you need to fill that looks kind of blank all on its own. And that's how it's going to kind of look above the turtle when I'm done. I don't like the way I did the I don't know, are they called tiles? I don't know, like the little sections on his tiles. If that's correct, I get an award. The little design that he has on his shell, I couldn't get it the way I wanted it to, so it's going to change a little bit. I've already erased it once or twice. Might do that again. But basically, this is where I want to get my turtle the way I want it. And then I'll go over top of that with black or gold and then fill everything in with black because I'm going to dot it. I wasn't sure if I was going to dot it right away, but I do prefer to dot on top of black. So I'm drawing this all on, kind of getting the image of what I want, and then I will cover it with black, and then just so that I can erase everything and have it the way I want it. Oh my goodness, now my notifications were on. I apologize. Back to work. So his face is going to change a little bit. He looks kind of grumpy and sad. I don't want him to be sad. I want him to be kind of happy. So I'm going to change like the shape of his mouth, and his eyes are going to look different. But there is a method to my madness. I always promise that. It might seem like I'm taking a different route to get to the final product, but there's a method to my madness. So we're really only going to see one of his eyeballs, but a little corner of the other one is popping out the side of the head there. His mouth is going to look a little bit happier. I am sketching with my paintbrush now, with my fine lining brush, just a thin black line just to sketch it on here so that I can keep what I want to keep and get rid of the rest with an eraser. I'm once again not happy with the way I did his shell, some of the parts of it. So I'm kind of like leaving those right now, not really sure what I want to do, and it will change, I promise. But it's okay because he's going to be all black very soon, except for his outlines, and we can fix everything in there as much as we want once that's done. You could have done this outlining in gold and then filled everything with black, because that's what I'm going to be doing anyway. Just make sure your paint is dry before you start erasing. That's a major tip from me. Make sure all your paint is dry. Walk away. Go make yourself a tea. Pour yourself a glass of wine. Don't touch it. until it's dry. So now that I've realized that I do want to paint it with dots, I have to do the background black. So my turtle needs to be black in order for those dots to stand out the way I want them to. So I am doing gold outline instead of black, and then filling all those little parts with black. So you're going to see that happen. I've sped up a lot of this because this was a long tutorial. This was a couple of hours of pausing and recording and trying to get rid of stuff that's not necessary. So if I was like fixing one spot for a long period of time, but it really didn't look any different, I'll edit that part out so that you don't have to watch me do that. Because time is precious. So I have sped this up. I do not work this fast. I am talking while watching my video instead of talking while painting the video. I have to concentrate while I'm painting it until I get it done. So I am making sure that all the parts are outlined with gold and that all the parts are filled in with black. So you'll be able to see. I'm going to use a little dotting tool, one of my smaller ones, to fill in these little parts on the shell right now. It's just easier to maneuver around in that little area not using a brush. So that's another tip. I try to leave as many tips as possible to help you with your painting and your creativity, just to make your life a little bit easier. I went through the struggles so you don't have to. I'm teaching you so that you don't have to go through the same stuff. You know what I mean? So I am being very careful. I can go back in once everything is dry and re-outline the gold. Chances are I'm going to have to in some spots anyway, even after we're done dotting, because sometimes the dots go outside of the lines. So I might line this in gold multiple times throughout. You might see me fix a little area or just completely outlining everything again. And that's just part of the process. That's just getting to the point where it's ready to be filled with color. So it is tedious. It does take a little while, but it's worth it. It looks a lot cleaner, and I just feel like it looks a lot better if we do that extra step of cleanup and then re-outlining everything. It just gets us kind of like we're ready to color. We're ready. We have our coloring page sitting here. Boom. Now we just got to add color. I like that step. So this is the perfecting, the cleaning up, making sure everything looks okay. And then we get to do the fun. So if you want to adjust anything like the shell pattern or the eyes or the shape of the mouth, now's a good time to do it. I really did not like that back foot. I erased that multiple times, and I'm still not sure. You're allowed to make fun of that part if you want. I am still waiting to find out about a job. So I've gone to a second interview, and I should hear by the end of this week. So keep your fingers crossed for me that my life and Jackson's life gets a little bit easier. I'm going to continue painting as well, as much as I possibly can. So this will be going into my Etsy shop as well as some other stuff. I will show you at the end of the video a couple of things I have going on when I do the resin reveal. Now, these look like little green flowers, don't they? It's bright green mixed with a little bit of teal. I'm going to list my paint colors in the description of the video because I don't really show you them very much in this video. I don't hold it there long enough. But it's bright green mixed with teal, and I did little flowers down. It's just to kind of have like a dotted, a noticeable design on his flipper. Then I went around it with teal blue. It might look different under your lighting. You can use whatever colors you want. But this color I'm filling it in with. I'm just kind of going around everything. It doesn't matter the size of your dots, but I'm trying to keep them fairly small. But I'm using a camel color. So it's bright green mixed with teal a little bit, and then just teal, and then camel. So those are the colors we're going to use for now. I am going to be adding maple brown later on for fun. You'll see that. But I don't really know what to do with this flipper, so I'm just going to do a couple of odd, just to have like a random pattern. Just like his front flippers, they have a bit of a pattern to them. I don't even know if I'm using the right term. Do they have flippers? Someone will correct me, I'm sure, in the comments, but this is an art thing. I just make the art. I don't really know the names of everything. I just make the art, and hopefully this turns out to be an adorable little turtle sitting on a rock, because that's what my aim is here. So yeah, I did the same thing that I did with the front flipper, little greenish blue flowers. And then I went around the flower in a circle of the blue, and then I filled it in with camel. And I'm going to do something different on this area. Just kind of follow the color scheme with me. I used a little bit of a darker blue. I add a little bit of dark blue into the teal. So it changed it a little bit. It's not that same teal color anymore. But this is just for certain areas that I want to highlight, not highlight, but I want them to stand out a little bit more in the darker color. Maybe highlight was the right term. I'm not sure. But I just want this at the top of his head and around the back. There's going to be a little bit on his chest. And then I'm just going to be kind of mingling in the other colors as we go along, and you'll be able to see that. I'm not going to hide anything from you, although sometimes I do put my stone out of view of the camera and you miss some bits and pieces, but I do try and let you know what's going on either way, because I'm not good at that either. I'm not that great with filming. It's probably why you don't see me on camera either, because that's just too complicated. How do you see me and see my rock? I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I need someone to do it for me. So I am putting in that camel color, as you can see, in different areas. There's not really a design like there was on the flippers, but I want there to be a pattern on his flippers, because that's just what I see when I think of these turtles. And it's a sea turtle, right? So I'm just adding in that camel and the maple brown. When I bring it in, you're going to wait till the dots are dry before you bring in the maple brown. I sometimes get a little impatient, and I bring them in ahead of time when the camel is still wet, and they don't look as nice. But you'll see the maple brown is going to change things up quite a bit. It's just kind of giving it some definition in certain areas. I'm trying to do random pattern over here on this flipper because it's still a flipper. It's just sticking out and we only see a little portion of it. But I want there to be that design as well. So I just kind of winged it there. Now I've lightened my teal very light for that portion of his eye. Center is going to be black. There's going to be a little bit of white at the corner here. Center is just going to stay black. And his little eye nub on the other side. Just imagine there's an eye on the other side, okay? There's a nub. So here's where I'm adding in maple. And I'm just adding it in different spots. It's up to you. You might not think it looks right. You might think it added something special. I just felt like this turtle needed some of that brown in there. So I'm just putting it in certain areas so that it's not so camel-y looking. But you can just kind of see where it just changes it a little bit. It just, for the grand picture of it all, it just changes things. Makes it look a little bit more realistic. Maybe. I'm doing well. I hope everyone else is doing really well. I still need your ideas in the comments because now I have less time. If I am going to be working, either way, I do need to get a job. So I will have less time thinking about what I want to paint. So your ideas are very important to me. Also, you're part of my rock family. So I want to be able to bring to the table things that you guys are going to eat. Not, you know what I mean. I want to bring things to you that you guys are going to want to paint and what you want to share with your friends and family, or what you want to gift to people, or leave for someone to find. So I'm just using camel right now in this, but I'm going to darken the camel with some maple brown. And I'm also going to use just pure maple brown on that portion when those camel dots are dry. I am doing that blue color again, just on the outer edges of each portion of his shell. Still not really completely satisfied with the way the shell design is, but is it really going to matter? Are we really going to pick at that? No, we're not. It's going to look super cute anyway. So next up, teal. So dark blue, then teal. And as we get closer to the center of each portion of the shell, it's going to start getting lighter. So I'm going to use some green, and then I'm going to lighten the green, and it's going to just kind of stand out more on the shell. So you're going to see that change too. So yes, put your ideas in the comments, anything you want to see. Let me know what you think of this little guy too. I mean, I've been making some cute little creatures lately. It's just been what I want to do. I need some cute things in my life. It makes me feel less stressed to paint something adorable. Painting in general makes me feel less stressed, but when it's something cute in the end, it just makes me smile. And I know that it probably makes someone else smile when they see it too, for some reason. So it's important. So put your ideas in the comments. It doesn't have to be a cute little thing. It can be a type of flower. I know there's some of you out there who sent me different flowers that you want me to paint, but I've tried and I'm still working to try and figure out how to paint them easy and make them easy for you to paint. But put your ideas in the comments anyway. Something might stand out and it might be, hey, I can do that. Let's try that. So here I have added a little bit of maple to the camel, mixed it together, and now I have darker dots. But then I'm going to go in with the actual maple brown, and I'm going to go at the bottom of these little portions that I'm dotting right now. So you're going to see that change just a little bit. We're also going to be using watered down black paint to do some shading. You've probably seen me do this before. It's another little trick or tip that I think you'll find useful. Because I do want him, he's dotted, so obviously it's not realistic, but I want him to look like he's actually sitting on this rock. And he's just looking up, and he's waiting for us to give him a little drip of water, because he's thirsty, and we have a little water bottle, and we're going to feed him some water. So I'm just making sure that everything is dotted the way I want it. And then we're going to do the shading. So a little bit of black paint. That was a little bit of brown paint at first. A little bit of black, a little bit of water. Make it watery so that you can see through it. It's transparent. and then get a little blending brush. I just find it's easier for me with my blending brush. And here's where you're going to miss a little bit, but it ended up being too watery anyway, so I add a little bit of black paint, a little bit of water, and that way I'm working on a light colored stone. If you're working on a dark stone, this is not going to work very well if you seal it. So when I seal this, it's going to go a little bit darker, but I'm still going to be able to see the shading. So here's another tip. If you want to do shading underneath something, make sure the background of your stone is light. If it's not light, you can paint it light and then do your turtle over top. But that shading is not going to stand out on a dark stone, especially after sealing it. So you need a light colored stone, and then always check to see how dark your stone is going to get by spraying it with a little bit of water. I keep a water bottle at my desk for that reason, and I just spritz it with water to see how dark it's going to get, and then I let it dry and then paint on it. So this one I did check to make sure that I would still be able to seal it with resin, and then I'd still be able to see the shading that I'm doing here. So luckily, it kind of already looks like we lifted him up off the rock. Make sure you do your shading under your flippers, under the chest there, under the belly, and under the back, whatever that is. Back foot. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a mess. He doesn't mind. It gets him around, right? So now you can see that empty space above, and that's where I'm going to do a couple of water droplets. If you've not seen me do water droplets before, I will post a couple of videos in the description of this video on how to do them, so that you can like actually have more time and listen to my technique. But literally, I paint a circle with black paint. I use a blending brush, put a little bit of black paint at the top, a little bit of white paint at the bottom, and I kind of just use a little bit of water or watered down black paint to make it look like it's a bubble of water sitting there, just like a little water droplet. You do have to do some shading around the water droplets as well, which is a little more challenging for me, obviously, as you can tell. But when you add the reflection light, or like a little white light at the top, which you'll see me do very soon, it just kind of turns into water on the rock. So this, once again, there's that little reflection. This, once again, is something you need to do on a rock that's not going to get too dark when you seal it, because you want to be able to see the shadow and you want to be able to see through the water droplet to the bare stone. So I've kind of left the inside of the droplet that bare stone color so that it shines through. It just makes it look a little bit more realistic. You might not think it looks realistic at all. And I'm definitely not the best at water droplets or reflection and stuff like that. I didn't go to school for this. This is just doing what I see and trying to get better at it, which is something we can all do as long as you're trying, right? If you're trying, this is what I tell my kids. As long as you're trying, you're going to get better. No matter what, no matter how many times you try, you're getting just a little bit better. So keep trying. That's why I'm still doing this after all these years. Still trying. So it takes me a little bit to perfect my water droplets. I'm going to do another small one in front of him, just a little one. And the smaller ones are a little bit harder to do because you got to get that blending brush in there. But practice makes perfect. Nothing's perfect, but practice makes you better. So don't get upset with yourself. Just keep working at it until you're happy. And we'll see how it looks when we're done. I think it's looking pretty cute. I love him. I think he's adorable. And I think he loves the pattern that I did on his flipper. And I don't think he minds the shell, the design on the shell. But he can't really talk, so we don't really know. I think he's happy. If you wanted to do a pink turtle, you can. You can do shades of pink and red, maybe a little bit of orange. You don't have to choose the same colors. You don't have to have the same kind of stone. You can have a canvas. You don't have to have a stone. You can make your own stones. I have tutorials on that as well. And so even if you don't have all the stuff that I have, you can still try. You can still try it. Dots are super fun, especially when they don't have to be all the exact same size and shape. You can just kind of mingle them all in there like I did with this turtle, and it just ends up being something super cute or pretty or adorable. So I've got another little drip drop over there. He is no longer thirsty. He is so cute. I love it. And I love the gold. I love the gold. You know how much I love gold. So this turtle's special. I'm going to resin it, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have at my desk. And I will be right back. Welcome to What's at My Desk. I don't have too much, but I went on a little fit for dog prints. So I do have a couple of those to show you. Also, mandalas. I could always do a good mandala, and they always make me happy. This one is in shades of green and teal, and there's a little bit of pink and purple, but lots of gold, lots of shine. This one, a little different. It's a golden mandala, but it's got Swarovski crystals attached. And they look so beautiful under certain lights. You can really see the sparkle. Not this light. I tried. It's just not working. Out in the sunshine, next to a candle, it just leaves like sparkles everywhere. So I really love making those. Now for the star of the show. Aw, this turned out just so cute. I absolutely loved painting this little guy. I do prefer sometimes my rocks to be not shiny, and I usually find it's when there's a shading that's necessary or water droplets that I do prefer the look to be more matte. The shine takes away from some of it, but I still love it. I still think he's gorgeous, but I am going to show you a picture of it without the resin, and so that you can see what I mean. I just think that it adds to that realistic part of it when it's not so shiny, but I still love it shiny. He'll be in my shop shiny probably this afternoon, along with some other ones that I might have shown you or might not have shown you. I hope you guys are still painting. Keep painting. Keep hitting that like button. The algorithm has changed again, and YouTube hides me from you all. So keep coming back to my channel as often as possible. Hit the like button. Don't forget that. It really helps keep me in the algorithm so that other people can see my stuff too. Not only that, but you guys will keep getting my stuff in your feed. I will be back very, very soon. Don't forget how much I love you. And until we meet again, bye.